Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle. I'm here today with Morris Reed. Morris has done his first deal, and we're going to talk about that deal because it is a little different. So let's talk about where you found the deal. You got it as a listed property.
No, actually, it wasn't listed.
Oh.
I contacted the agent for a listed property, and he it was the one I contacted him about, like you always talk about. It was under contract, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I have one that it's not on the market yet. If you and offered for me to have a look at it." And I had a look at it, and we talked about it, and I put it on the contract. And I think while I was in the process of putting it on the contract, he listed it, and that's where it started. So it wasn't yet listed.
But you had it under contract already.
Yeah.
For what price?
I put it on the contract for, he had it listed for, I think, like 220, and I got it on the contract for 180.
Yeah.
And then he actually listed it for 229.
Okay.
So
you have a listing at 229, but you have it under contract for 180. Now the way we work, I've mentioned this before, is I work with the students to help them get properties under contract, but once it's under contract, it goes into the other part of the system. So I don't actually see what's happening. But the feedback I got was you got a lot of calls on it right off the bat.
Yeah, we those guys we had a lot of interest right out as soon as it was marketed. As it was marketed, we got interest.
And you got it under contract.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And you got a $4,000 escrow deposit.
No,
$6,000.
$6,000.
Yeah. Okay. That's important because as you'll see coming up, that kind of comes into play a little bit later. But as we passed the inspection period, you had it under contract, you had the escrow deposit, so you were hard on your escrow deposit, which was how much, $1,000?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So we could have done one of two things. We could have quit right there and said, okay, we're not going to close. We'd have lost $1,000, but got $6,000, so you would have made $5,000.
Right.
And nothing would have happened other than that. Okay. But we tried because of the high activity, and we got it under contract again.
Yep, we got it under contract again.
And this time you got a $10,000 escrow.
It was a $10,000, and it ended up being, I think, after all was said and done, their lawyer offered $8,000.
Yeah. Well, here's what kind of the backstory on that is. We went after the $10,000, and the buyer lawyered up, said, "I want all my money back. My attorney's going to call you." So the attorney did call the closing agent, and the closing agent called and said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Take the $10,000. We'll go to mediation, and we'll fight him. It doesn't matter. We're going to get it." So he said to the attorney, the sellers say absolutely not. So the attorney came back and said, "Well, how about will you take $8,000? And we said, "Okay." So now what's happened is you've had it under contract twice, and both times fell through. But we have $14,000 in escrow sitting there waiting as what should be part of the profit.
Right.
Now, just about that time, we had to make a decision on closing on it. And because of the high interest in it, I said, heck, let's just go ahead and close. Because what we could have done now is stopped, not closed, and we would have had $13,000. $14,000 less your $1,000. And we said, no, let's go for it because we had so much action. So what happened was a little thing called Hurricane Irma. And what happened? Oh, you didn't see the house, actually. You were out of town.
Right, I evacuated.
Yeah. So how'd that go for you? Any cars on the road?
Man, and then some.
So anyway, where were you? You went.
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. It wasn't that far away.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he couldn't get back. And as we looked at the property, I didn't go. One of my partners went, and it had sustained some damage, but mostly limbs and debris and all kinds of stuff. So what we had to do is we had to go ahead and pay to get it cleaned up, and there was a roof issue then, a bigger leak than there might have been before, correct?
Right, yeah.
So what we did is we put it out again, and we got a contract on it. What was the last contract for?
Not the one that we actually closed on, right?
Yeah, the one we actually closed.
The one we actually closed on was a buyer brought it to us.
Okay, yeah, it was 190.
It was 190.
And the buyer that bought it to us added 10,000.
Yep.
So if you look at the HUD statement, it shows $200,000. So we're thinking, well, we paid 181, 200,000, but the first 10,000 went to the wholesaler that brought the buyer.
Yep.
I'm repeating these numbers because the bottom line ultimately is going to be pretty interesting, I think. So one wholesaler brought us a buyer. He made $10,000. before we got into it, we could have made $13,000 by doing nothing. We already got the 2 earnest money deposits and just lost the $1,000. But we were diligent. We went ahead, we went ahead and we closed on it. Now, as it turns out, all the repairs and cleanup and all the other costs associated with it, I think were around $15,000 is what I heard. So if you look at the HUD, it shows a profit of $9,700 or $90-some $100.
Yep.
But think about this. Well, that's okay. No, it's $12,000 on the HUD.
I know how it is. Well.
Yes, but we had the other $14,000 in escrow. But we had the expenses of the cleanup and all the stuff. We bought, as soon as we closed, we bought insurance. So had the roof gone off, it would have been better because we could have gotten a new roof. As it was, we were under the threshold of our deduction, so we couldn't get any real money out of the claim. Insurance claims can be massive to you in terms of profit. We just didn't have enough damage. So when the smoke cleared, the cost, less what was the profit on the HUD, less what was everything else, was $9,700. And it was kind of a struggle. Okay, but we're not here to talk just about that. We're here to talk about you moved from Wisconsin
Yep.
down here to do this. And it's been sort of a different struggle.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of marketplace down here.
It is, and it hasn't been the smoothest ride, but I kind of, I'm down here for the long haul, and I expect to take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good, and keep plugging away, because I know it works.
Yeah, it's always nice when you finally do a deal and you say,
Yeah.
aha, it really does work.
Yeah.
And we're here for you. I mean, you sent a very nice email to both myself and Jim saying how much you appreciated the help, and we're always here for you.
Absolutely.
We want to see you do deals.
Absolutely, and this just encourages and inspires me even more to continue doing what I'm doing. So
Well, one of the things we have to do is I have to get back together with you and see what you're doing and how you're doing it and stuff like that, because sometimes I get out of touch.
right,
If you don't get in touch with me, I lose touch with you because I'm doing stuff. And
right, and I know that. I
Yeah.
know you're doing stuff. So.
What would you say to people who are thinking about becoming investors?
Go for it. I imagine some people, I want to say, might get lucky with the hard work that they're doing, but keep plugging away, and eventually things will fall into place. I'm living testament to that. So.
Well, you do get lucky. The harder you work.
Right, exactly. That's what I said. You get lucky through the hard work that you're doing. So.
I had a couple of students in before. I was talking to them about where they are and what they've done. They had 6 properties under contract but haven't closed one. And the issue becomes, why not? Well, they either paid too much, or they're not what people want on your buyer's list, or your buyer's list isn't big enough. So we look at those and get them back on track, because sometimes you get unfocused. You're doing something that we know works, but since it feels like nothing's happening, you start to get off on tangents. But it does work.
Right, right, and that's what you're saying. That is true, and you just have to, revisit, the fundamentals, the basics, and just, stick with that.
Well, I want to see you back again for more videos.
Yes, I fully intend to be. I fully intend to be sitting here.
Okay, any other comments?
No.
You want to say hi to Laurent?
Hey, Laurent. He's responsible for me being here. Laurent Gabriel, Dave's friend. So.
And he's in Atlanta.
Yes, he lives in Atlanta.
And also a student. Yeah.
So,
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate it.